I think Jason would try to pull a door that says push on the front of it. So I don't really think.
Welcome back to Why Who Wins, guys. Today we're going to be covering Jason Voorhees versus Michael Myers. I'm personally siding with Jason because I've always been a Jason fanboy.
I think Jason is bitch made and doesn't have the mental strength to stand up to Mike. Mike had a legitimate traumatic childhood. Jason got bullied because he was ugly.
I mean, Jason is stuck in this like kid mentality, so I wonder if
mama's boy. He's a mama's boy. Mike done had his mask knocked off a couple times. He was cool. You knock Jason's mask off, nigga freeze up. Get real cold feet.
The hacks of Jason far outweigh the hacks of Michael. The only way I see Michael coming out on top is if he can outsmart Jason.
Or if he can hurt his feelings.
They would just stare at each other for probably a minute, or they would play hide and seek. That should be the real Why Who Wins. Who has the better game of hide and seek? Who finds the other one first?
Michael is in people's houses on the second story while they're having a party downstairs trying on their clothes and shit, dog. Like, you can't even compare. How many shots have we seen in Halloween where he's just upstairs staring down at people?
If a dude that big takes up that much space, walks in the house, you're going to feel the shift. There's no way he's just that like that with it.
6'9", 230. That's like if LeBron James walked into your house, you wouldn't know.
Jason is like running through doors and fucking walls, like the element of surprise, but in the most violent way possible. If Michael Myers is hiding upstairs and Jason just fucking crashes through the window, I don't even know if Mike would be startled, though. That's the thing. Like, how does the tussle play out?
Michael Myers continues to age. So a lot of what you're seeing Mike do in these sequels and reboots, my boy like 45, 60. So if we're doing prime Michael Myers, right, I'm pretty sure he can match Jason in everything that he's doing for the most part. We put like 25-year-old Michael Myers, you know, when Laurie's still young, when the fire's still burning. I don't think Jason's fucking with him on the strength level too much. I think that's a stalemate. Me personally, I think that's a stalemate. By the way, for those of you watching, off camera, we have footage of Jason avoiding getting hit by a car. He was scared because he knew his bitch ass couldn't take it. Mike got hit by a car, took a power nap, came back, fucked up like 6 more people.
Jason survived full fire squads though, dog.
But he dove from the car. I told you at the start, it's a mentality thing. That's what you're not understanding. It's a mentality thing.
No, come on.
It's a mentality thing.
Come on.
Mike doesn't actually feel like he can be killed. Jason, run it.
Got the respect thread pulled up. Let's see if we can see what Dallas is talking about.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Pussy. He has never been that athletic in his life. He was out of character. You know what's so funny? He only moved when he realized he couldn't scare her. That's when he moved, and he was like, "Oh shit, this bitch really gonna hit me. My bluff gonna get called." So what you think he gonna do when Michael Myers comes at him, dog? When the fear is not there, what's he gonna do? Run. That's really an end of discussion. That's actually in the pod right there. We saw it. When he was actually in danger. When he couldn't scare somebody, he dove out the way. He dove out the way. When he knew he had a chance of getting hurt, he bitched out. Mike would never.
That was pre-zombie Jason though. That was pre-zombie Jason. Pretty sure that was Friday 4.
That's crazy.
Friday
Does this
4.
nigga go Super Saiyan 2? That's wild. All these buffs. That's crazy. Mike personally don't do shit like that.
Oh my
Zombie
God.
Jason X. Mike doesn't need these things. You know what Mike needs? Put him in the asylum, push-ups, sit-ups.
Hey, maybe just didn't feel like getting hurt that day. He already got his feelings hurt earlier that morning. He ain't trying to take the emotional way to get hit by a fucking van.
You really outed your boy when you showed that clip. You really outed your boy. You really hoed him, actually. You fell off the mountain and you were to get hit by a van because you bitch made. When it's time to bite down.
He wasn't a zombie yet. He wasn't a zombie yet.
Let me get this straight. You only willing to get hit when you know it won't kill you. And you think you're ready to see Mike. Crazy. I told you, it's a mentality difference. Unrelated question. Has Jason ever beat firemen in a fight before? I'm asking for a friend. Has he ever done that?
He's beat policemen with guns.
Everybody knows police officers can't fight. That's why they have the guns. Firemen are real niggas. You ever try to fight a fire? Shit's crazy.
Come on. Hey, Jason's been on fire before too, dog. He's a fireman.
That's sweet. So he's a fireman, right? So Michael gonna serve his ass. That's what you're saying. That's what you're telling me right now. Michael served 3 firemen. Michael, Jason the fire. Corey, you heard it. You heard it in the podcast. In the podcast, Jason the fireman. We got video evidence of Michael serving 3 firemen.
No.
I got video evidence.
Is this
You
just
get
like
it?
a UFC sparring match? I need to know some specifics.
That's a Jason centric question because Michael Myers is get it how you live, dog. Wherever you want, anytime, don't matter. That's a Jason centric question.
No, I guess we have to frame it like if Michael was hunting Jason like he hunts Laurie Strode, because Jason doesn't have anyone he particularly is going for, whereas Michael seems to have very like personal vendettas.
I think Jason would try to pull a door that says push on the front of it. So I don't really think putting him in a more complicated circumstance to hide is really going to help anything. I think he's only interested when he's at a fucking when he's at a camp where everything's open. Corey, think really hard. Have you ever seen Jason turn a doorknob? Answer the question for me.
That's probably why he runs through them bitches.
That's what I'm saying. Stupid
One or
ass.
two bad experiences. I'm like, fuck this.
Stupid ass.
Fuck this.
That's what
Whatever this is,
saying, dog.
it's in the way.
Running through the bitches, can't figure it out. He's running through them motherfuckers, man. He's 6'5", apparently. Jason.
Not Jason, I know.
Jason 6'5".
7'2".
Jason 6'5".
That's
least
what they're
7'2".
saying. Like human Jason in like
What
the
you-
first,
so what
the
you
first
saying
4
is-
movies. I ain't saying zombie Jason. I ain't
So
saying zombie Jason.
what you saying to me is Michael Myers not only can whoop Jason's ass, but he can post him up. That's what you're telling me right now. You can post him up.
That shit was
You can put him in. You can put him,
Ah.
take him down to the block, put him in the paint, back to the basket, serve his ass. That's what you're telling me right now. Does Michael Myers sneak up on people? Yes, but they turn and see him. It's not like he comes up, hand over the mouth, cuts the throat. He's done that before because some missions call for us. We're not going to judge the man for having a skill set. That's what we're not going to do. We're not going to judge the man for having a skill set. But most of his kills in which he's hiding, he's just hiding so he can get him in the house. But when he's there, he goes straight up with niggas. He goes direct all the time. He hides, but he hides in places they're going to find him. It's not like he sneaks up when they're not looking. If anything, we got multiple shots where bro's in the closet and could sneak up on them, but he waits for them to open the closet door. So he just like shocking people. It's the hunt. He is a sportsman. It's not the same as being a bitch. Like somebody I know, waiting for people to fuck, waiting for people to get in the water on the boat, half drunk, having a good time.
Hey, Jason's serving up the hands. Hey, don't make me pull out Jason X, dog. I said we was gonna keep it out of it, but I might have to pull out Jason X, dog.
I mean, the fact that we got to get all these versions of Jason for base form Michael Myers is crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It was
to me,
prime
dog.
time. You said it was prime 25-year-old Michael, dog. Come on now.
Hey, dog, it can be 25, 60, 40. Get it how you live, dog. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. 60-year-old Mike in the new Halloween sequel was on some shit. That's the one who whooped the fireman's ass, and Jason is a fireman. You said that. That's on camera. Don't edit it. Raw file. Put it up. That's what you said. So Michael in the sequels was like 61 giving niggas the word.
I think Jason is more proficient with weapons than any fireman, though, and stronger and more durable.
Why is he more proficient? Because Freddy Krueger's 5'7" ass was giving him the work in Freddy versus Jason. Giving his ass the work.
Hey, dog. But Jason whooped his ass at the end of the movie.
That's cool. Freddy's a pedophile. He had to lose. But at the end of the day, he was whooping Jason's ass for an extended period of time with limited technique. Look up how tall Freddy Krueger is. Look that up right now. How tall is he?
5'9".
Don't ever talk about Mike again. Ever in your life.
No.
Ever in your life.
No. Freddy would fold Michael Myers, and the chain of command,
That's
Jason
crazy.
wins.
That's a different podcast. I got video evidence of Jason getting his ass whooped by Freddy. Look up the clip. I'll send it to you.
What? No.
Look
I
up the
got
clip.
evidence that he wins at the end of the movie. Come on now.
That's cool, dog. He was getting help from plot. Characters was rooting for Jason at the end. Characters were rooting for Jason at the end. They was helping Jason win.
No.
That's another thing. Jason got championed by a bunch of teenagers. Nobody ever wanted Mike to win. It's a mentality difference, Cole. That's what you're not getting.
I agree with Michael having a totally different mentality, being way smarter, way more conniving, way more cunning. There's not really a scenario that Michael specifically gets the chance to decapitate him, to really do any of that, because that's not even Michael's style. You know, he's very much like a personal killer. He's getting up close to you, he's stabbing you in the stomach, stabbing you in the throat. He doesn't really dismember people. He doesn't take people's heads off. Whereas Jason's like crushing people's skulls with his hands, doing crazy shit.
So in the recent Halloween reboot, this is way different. Way different.
Excuse
but
me.
You remember the psychiatrist that was always fascinated Michael, turned on him at the end, was actually not cool dude. Michael curb stomped him, turned his head into silly putty, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming he can do that to Jason. Like, I understand Jason's durability is up in terms of what he can survive, but if he curb stomps Jason's head, like, I don't know if you've seen Jason's head, but that shit is not built to survive anything. That's why he's got the dumbass mask on. I think if you stomp his head, it'll cave itself in, right? Curb stomp from Mike, cave Jason's head in.
What do you think, Corey?
Does Mike fight any other like Jason's got the 1v1 with Freddy? Does Mike get his ones, or is it always just hunts with
so he beat the 3 firemen, and I know I keep referencing that, but they would real life had axes. One of them had a chainsaw. One of them had a chainsaw, like an industrial construction grade chainsaw, specifically to get in burning buildings. Mike whooped their ass. There's a scene where Mike is getting stomped out by Mo.
What the fuck am I looking at?
Is that Jason? That nigga could never beat Mike. Never in his life. Look at him. That's not the face of a winner.
Our boy Jason right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a hard ass dude. This dude was taking on people with mind powers and telekinesis. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What's Michael got for telekinesis? Probably fucking nothing.
Corey, you asked an interesting question. He beat the fireman, and then Corey, at the end of the most recent Halloween sequel, he was getting stomped out and beat by multiple townspeople. Cole, tell him what happened. I want you to say it.
Movie ended, dog. Movie ended, dog.
Nah, dog. Movie just started. Best part of the movie came up. He stood up.
He gets up and he starts whooping everybody's ass after they beat the fuck out of him.
And there's some technique behind it.
I'm saying like supernatural feats. So we can. I mean, if we're saying that Michael is stronger because of he fought, people. Jason with the machete versus Michael with the knife. Who like that with the blade? Who's winning off the? Are we saying that these are just random attacks, or is this like I think the setting of it is important. Like, are they just put in the same place? Do they know? Are they aware of what's going on too? And you know what I'm saying? Like, where do we? Like, how does this happen?
Like household items, like just like random shit, like you dropped in the middle of a suburb, whatever. Like household items, like fucking kitchen knives and weed whackers.
I mean, yeah, I think that's a good point because Mike, like the signature weapon is the knife, but he is no ways like married to it. He uses a lot of different things, like a ton of different things. I'm pretty sure there was like a hammer on a table one time.
Yeah, like I said, he just goes through them in the Halloween movie.
He does a lot of hand-to-hand kills too, just like slamming people's head against the wall and shit, which I definitely think he could do to Jason, by the way, his 6'5" ass.
Still don't think he has an answer for Jason's durability. Because you saying he can curb stomp him, I think it's in the realm of possibility, but getting Jason on the ground and holding still to do this. We saw him, you want to talk about the van and all that shit? Michael was trying to curb stomp his ass. He fucking jumps out of the way of the van the same way we saw earlier, dog. He's got a little agile to him, all right? To his credit. So I don't know if he's just getting curb stomped and letting it happen. I don't think Michael's out here fucking speed stomping on people because he likes the kill. He likes to have it slow, look in their eyes as they fucking die. Jason's not going to be playing nice.
I think that's a fair point. Counterpoint. We've seen Jason against Freddy Krueger. Wasn't a lot of agility going on there. He was getting his ass whooped. I think you should look up some of the fight highlights. Freddy was doing some sneaky shit, but there's also some scenes where he's literally kneeing Jason in the face, tagging his ass.
I think once that element of surprise is up, shit is wraps. Like the man loses mask, okay, sure, but like I feel like if they're up close, and even with the size disadvantage, I just feel like Jason's just that guy in the tire. I don't know how Mike is.
Can I ask why? Can I ask why Jason's that dude in the tire when we got no evidence of him outdueling
We got no
anybody?
evidence. We've only got evidence. We got evidence of him fighting Freddy. We've got nothing of Michael fighting anybody aside from other people.
Well, I don't think Freddy Krueger's got like some boosted fucking agility or anything like that. That's just a 5'8".
He's stronger than regular people, though.
You think Freddy Krueger is physically stronger than regular people? Than
I think
firemen?
the fact that he's tagging Jason probably.
You think Freddy Krueger is stronger than a fireman?
Freddy or Jason?
Freddy.
Okay.
I feel like the agility. I mean, still fighting. What are we watching?
It's Freddy versus
There's
Jason.
when they're in the house. Yeah, the burning house. Don't he like sling that nigga? Don't he like drag him through
slow ass
the
weave
building?
Look,
another person, like another.
Hey, he just hurt his fucking foot. Look at this.
Person,
Look at this.
I mean, Freddy like 130, dog. I could do that to Travis. I can do all this to Travis.
Literally, bro, through the house.
But you know he not doing that to Mike. You know he
yes,
not.
He is. Yes, he is.
Bro, look at Freddy's little ass.
I know he didn't yeet him across the yard. A halfway fight is still like another person that you put him against.
See,
like
look.
Still, Michael has look. Firefighters ain't doing that, dog. He just kicked him in the face, bro. He just kicked him in the head. No way. Still a better fight, even if it was 10 firefighters.
Word. Okay.
Corey, firefighters are heroes, and you're not gonna disrespect them on this podcast like that.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
They're heroes.
Well, weave.
I don't think it's valid against a dude like Michael.
That's
Myers.
not a weave. Freddy just missing.
Weave.
It would only be a weave if it was a van.
Oh.
Goddamn.
He just ate that shit though. He just stands up like, man, another day, another dollar.
Nah, he definitely feeling it right now. He's like, that was horrible. Damn. That nigga limping.
Look. Ugly
as hell.
Oh. Just looks at it, dog. Just takes it. Because he don't give a fuck. Look at him. And say, it's really just durability for Jason, man. If he can survive all that, what's Michael really going to do that stops him? He's going to keep going. Look, he's like, yeah, it fucking hurts. Don't matter. I'm coming for your ass in a second, dog. Once I get out of all this shit.
I just wonder how he still bleeds.
Just so we're all clear.
Literally, Jason would do that same exact thing to all those firefighters.
And Michael at the same time. And then this is after he kills Michael. Yeet. What could Michael do that was more brutal than what Jason just survived?
Call him ugly.
He could still be agile and shit though, yeah.
Well, the problem,
but the durability though.
Well, he never stabs him. It's all punches. Every time he tries to like cut him and stab him, that's what Freddy weaves. But it's all like the punches that he takes and random being thrown through buildings.
I think I'll take the stab before I get thrown through the top of a fucking building like that. Me personally.
He got yeeted like he was laundry.
Hitting him, or the cart hitting them. That's crazy.
Oh yeah,
I'd have been out of there.
I do think Freddy versus Jason is a horrible matchup. Honestly, I don't know why the movie got made because it should have been Michael, but
right, that's an obvious like.
And this is why it's the age-old debate. Like it's so hard to determine who it would be. I think from just like if you were looking at him on paper, the supernatural aspect of Jason shuts it down. Like the durability of Jason is just too high unless Michael is able to cut his head off, dismember him, blah, blah, blah. But if Michael could figure out a way to do some cunning ass shit, like I'm pretty sure Michael can set traps. Like there's some things that he could do.
I don't think Michael Myers would bet on the idea that Jason is not going to find him in the house. I think it's more so, does he know where I'm at within the house? Like it's not hiding from him to actually avoid conflict. So I'm sure Jason knows he's in there. So I guess that's my thing with his ability to sense living beings is like, how specific we talking? Is that like a sonar radar? Like what is that?
I don't think it's that specific because what it says here is Jason's enhanced senses allow him to detect every single living thing on the spaceship in Jason X, but it doesn't say he knows what room is in blah, blah, blah. Because if you remember in that movie, he ends up like putting the bitches in a sleeping bag and banging them up against a tree, ends up being a hologram. Like it's just a danger room-esque situation. So if he can detect lives, I don't see why he's beating up a hologram against a tree, you know?
Because he's stupid.
Right. And that's the biggest thing going against Jason is that he's just a dummy. He really is. He's a little kid in a giant tank of a body. So Michael being so fucking like Michael is actually evil. You know,
Yeah.
Jason almost is like just an innocent kid that's in a fucked up situation that goes out for vengeance compared to
A
someone
little
like
far.
Michael that
A little far.
Michael's killing every animal he sees and killing every person that he sees with no remorse, whereas Jason has been noted to spare some people, spare some children.
Mike let a couple kids go.
Mike
Let some
he be
kids.
letting babies go.
Nah, in the
Like,
Rob Zombie one, he meets it. There's a kid, and he's like, he thinks it's like some trick or treat shit when he sees Michael Myers. Michael lets him go.
like also, are we saying that Michael's like just a guy, or I know that it's got to be some kind of like aura, like the
I think
pure evilness, but it's like if we're talking about him being a regular dude, there's plenty of stuff on this thread saying like can punch through people's rib cages, stomps through two people, puts Freddy's arm through Freddy. It's like what's stopping this from happening to Michael at any interaction?
Michael has survived getting shot twice and lit on fire. He survived a ton of gunshots. He survived being stabbed before and cleaved a bunch of times. We've never seen him actually get hit by anything that could like Jason punches heads off of people and holes through people's chests and everything. Never seen that happen to Mike. But I will say, with the strength factor, is what Jason did to Freddy. Is that as impressive? I think it's more impressive a little bit, but I think they're in the same realm as Mike throwing the security guard or that guy through security level glass that's designed to like stop bullets. He threw him through the fucking glass. That's a considerable feat, in my opinion, than dragging a dude through glass.
I mean, that's pretty strong.
So I don't think the strength factor is going to be that big of a deal. I see what you're saying, Corey, with the durability thing. We don't have anything to suggest, at least from what I understand, that Michael could survive someone as powerful as Jason, but Michael has survived everything. And I do think like his evilness becomes like a supernatural thing, so to speak, where it's like he's fueled entirely by evil. And so that's why he can't die. But it just never gets crazy enough to determine like, because even when he is supposed to die, like the fire and everything, like a house fire, yeah, he survived that, but also a lot of people can survive a house fire. Like his near deaths are always, there's a little bit of ambiguity in them that I think makes it hard to determine just how durable he is. But to me, if you're surviving gunshot wounds and shotgun wounds to the chest and being lit on fire and being smashed in the head with all these different items, because I mean, he's been kicked downstairs. I mean, everything that could happen to Michael Myers outside of being beheaded has happened to him, I think, and he survived it pretty well. I do think Jason's always going to be more durable just by the fact that Jason's not a person, like he's immortal. But I do think like I've never seen Mike legitimately fucked up in that way.
Yeah, Michael has a certain level of just like intelligence too, though, where it's like if he knows he's in a situation where he's actually getting kind of fucked up, he'll run away. You know, he'll and not in like in a bitch way, just like he has the intelligence enough to be like I got Zoom.
He's strategic, yeah. He's much more strategic.
Where Jason's just like fuck it, you know. It's almost like Jason doesn't understand the danger that he's even in. He's just like I can tank it, but I don't even think Jason understands that he can tank the things that he can tank. Like he just is. It's almost like
Jason doesn't have an actual, like, I don't know. It's weird because he's spared people before, but to me, Jason has always felt as though he doesn't have an actual conscience. And when I say conscience, I don't mean like morality. I mean like consciousness. Like he's not actually there to me. Like he's more like an entity to me than an actual person. And so it's like, I don't even think strategy and stuff like rolls through his head because I don't even think he's like, even in Jason's craftier moments, it's never felt as though like he's consciously making decisions to me. It just seems like that's just what he's there for. I don't even think he actually has an agenda outside of killing people just for the sake of doing so. One thing about Michael Myers is that he kills everyone, but it's always in a linear path to something. Michael Myers isn't going on. If somebody's got to die on First Street, Michael isn't, and Michael's on First Street, he's not going to Third Street just to kill someone just because. But whoever he meets on First Street is out of there. Whereas Jason, it just seems like if you're in the vicinity, that's it. Like there's just no rhyme or reason for what he does. And I do think that strategy gap could help Michael, just the gap in their intelligence. But I will say you guys make a good point. I think Michael Myers can die. I think if you behead Michael Myers, he's out of here. I would think, because he is just a dude. Whereas Jason is not. He's not mortal. I mean, just not even a guy.
If we had to put it in a simulator, I would say it would be very fucking close. I would say Jason wins 6 out of 10 times solely because of durability, and that those other 4 times are because Michael was able to outmaneuver him, able to trap him or hold him in a situation. Like if Michael can figure out a way to trap Jason, there's really nothing. I mean, Jason could eventually get out of it, but if he's able to hold him in that trap long enough, he can do that finishing blow, and that would defeat Jason in that moment. Because I also think I realize, like, if Michael realizes the threat that Jason is, never dealing with something as supernatural as Jason, once he realizes that stabbing Jason doesn't work the same way that stabbing like Laurie Strode does, he's probably going to do a little extra brutal shit, a little extra killing shit. But it's, can he get to that point that he gets Jason on the ground or he traps him in that way?
The more I think about it, I actually got to agree with you. I think Jason probably wins 8 out of 10 times. Because you know what I am thinking of is like, Michael's never been killed, but people have done things to Michael to which he's reacted violently as a result due to pain and things like that. Like Laurie's cut off his fingers before, and he's like, oh, fuck, like my hand. And it's like, for you to react that much, even if it's not killing you, but for you to even have that, for pain to register with you, even if you can continue, I think what Jason does to him would probably be pretty fucked, right? I mean, he's definitely going to cleave into him a few times. I think the only way Michael Myers actually lives through this, all things considered, because you guys have made some good points about the durability, I think is what does it in comparison to Mike's durability, is that I think he'd have to outsmart him. I think outside of that, then it's just going to be, aside from the van, which Jason did bitch out of, I do think Michael Myers reaches a certain point where he tries to avoid certain things, realizing that he can't survive them, which means, to me, it suggests that he's aware of his own mortality, right? Like Michael Myers knows he can die to a degree. Jason does not, or at the very least, he knows he can't. I think with that in mind, Jason has to win, right? You have someone who can't die versus someone who's so aware of their own mortality, they avoid certain things. Because if he could just tank it the way that he should be able to beat Jason, then he wouldn't evade certain things. So I got to go Jason.
All right. Corey, you still say Jason?
I'm gonna go Jason. It's hard to say, and not because it's not that I don't think it's close, but I think when you got to hack like immortality or the fact that you know it's not very clear on if he's like an entity or if he can experience death, but it's like I think I'm gonna have to say Jason's gonna win 10 times out of 10 just because of that. But I do think when it comes, like if we were doing like a Jason that can die, I think you can switch it and say that when it comes down to technique and like finesse and shit like that, if Jason can die and he can still win, and if he can really win in a way without having to kill Jason, or if Jason can die at the end, I think Michael wins just off of the experience and then the strength. I think really when it's Jason, it just comes down to the fact of what can you do.
Jason is super aided by these sequels. Like the sequels favor Jason so much because there's like he gets progressively more mythical with each sequel to the point in which like part 1 Jason isn't punching the head off a dude the way Jason Takes Manhattan Jason is. It's like the legend grows with each movie for him, whereas Michael, it's always kind of been the same thing. It's always just him narrowly escaping death. And he's definitely strong, and he definitely fucks up normal people and has like some crazy, like I do think throwing a fucking dude through security level glass is insane. That's wild to me. That's
crazy.
Like they really up the stakes with Jason each time. Like if you want to do like part 1 Mike versus part 1 Jason, I actually think that's a much more fair discussion that would favor Mike a bit more.
Part 2 through 4 is like human Jason. We got, Baghead Jason all the way till like he gets killed by Tommy Jarvis.
Right. Part 1's his mom, actually. But part 2, Baghead versus Mike, I think that's a real conversation.
Yeah. And that would probably be way more, that would be way heavier catered to Michael. And I'll give you that. Michael would beat human Jason. If that Jason's even still considered human. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
But anything part 6 and after, that Jason's taking the cake. Like the Jason we just saw fight Freddy Krueger, probably giving Michael the hands. But I like the distinction. If you depending on the timeline, You got 25-year-old Michael Myers. You got Baghead Jason from part 2. That's a good ass fight. Anything after part 6, Jason's just got too many hacks. So I slam the gavel on that. I like that outcome. It makes it fair. So we got the debate out of the way. Everybody knows Michael in certain scenarios, Jason in certain scenarios. But let us know if you guys agree with what we said, if you agree with the conversation, because we'd love to know if you guys think that Jason or Michael would win, especially if you explain your thoughts, because I think we put up a pretty good argument in this one. I think Dallas had us on the ropes for a minute there, but I think we came in at the end with just a little too much negative to say about Michael. I love Michael. Don't get it twisted. Everybody here loves Michael Myers. Everybody here loves Jason Voorhees. But at the end of the day, I think Jason walks away from this killing more people, whereas Michael Myers probably meeting his demise. Now, if you get a zombie infused Michael Myers, that's a scary dude. 6'9" zombie Michael that can't die. I don't even want to see that movie because it's over the time it starts. Let us know if you have any recommendations on who we should be covering, especially with the spooky season coming along. We'd love to do a bunch more horror movie icons and anything crazy, like Chucky versus a bunch of gremlins or some shit like that. So please let us know. We'll happily take any request, and we'll shout you out in the video if we end up taking that. And until the next time, guys, peace.